Morning, everyone. Sunday morning, March 9th. Nice cold day. 8:30 in the morning. Just stopped by Walmart and picked up some 80 rounds of 223s. And they had some, which I've been seeing quite a bit of it around lately anyway, but no limit on it. I only bought 4 boxes. I didn't want to overdo it. Yeah, here we are. We made it. My card still works. They ain't kicked me out yet. Yeah, I'm still a member. For all you folks down south that ain't used to seeing a lot of snow, I mean, an inch or two, this is for y'all. There's the clubhouse. Look at all this beautiful white stuff around here. Let's go over here to the pistol range. The indoor range, I should say. All kinds of goodies. Definitely coming in. Yeah, we got 10 more rounds. Let's try some headshots. Oh, there we go. 9 out of 10. And good morning, everyone. Trees are blowing. Well, as you remember my last video, Glock fail or me. Well, we've got the answer. I told you in that I discussed with some other guys about the overall length of it. And thanks to some of the comments I got on that video, I can't remember who it was, but I want to thank him. This video may be a little longer than I normally use, but just bear with me. Went to the range yesterday, March 9th, and these here was the ones that was in question. So I seated all the bullets down to the lengths that some friends of mine out the gun club use same load, same bullet, and what their seating, their overall length was. I think the round nose was 1 inch 130 and flat nose was 1 inch 085, I believe it was. So I pushed all of these down in there, got them seated right to those heights. And I got to thinking, 20 thousandths on that overall length should not be the problem, not in a Glock. Because Glocks don't have the tightest tolerances on their chambers. Now if it was a match barrel, I could see it. So one of the comments that come in, this being a Gen 4, has a double captured spring, where the previous generations only has one spring. So I thought, you know, the load might be too light for this spring system in the Glock 4, in the Gen 4. So I talked to a couple other guys, and they said, yeah, that could be the problem. Out there at the gun club last Thursday night for a meeting. So I got home and I got to thinking about this, and I'm thinking, nah, I got to check something out. So I pulled one of the live rounds, and I'll put an insert video on how I did that. Well, I got to checking. When I loaded these, I didn't have a battery. My electronic scale went dead on me. So I didn't have a battery, and I didn't want to go run up the store and get a 9-volt battery. So I use, I'll move some of this stuff over here, the old balance scale. Well, to make this, try to get this as short as I can, the Glock did not fail. I failed. This is my 38th year of reloading. I have never in my life done what I did. So the old adage, never say never. There we go. I had, shooting for 3.9 grains of tight group for this with the 124 bullet. I had my scale set at 3.2, 7/10 under the load, and I think the low limit for the powder and the bullet's 3.8. So I was actually 6/10 or half a grain light in these. So they just wasn't functioning the gun. That's why the other loads work, because they was a stiffer load. So I pulled all these bullets and loaded half of them up with 3.9, the other half with 4.0 a tight group. Took it out to the range, like I said, Sunday morning. They ran flawlessly. I even took 50 rounds. I call this my SHTF bullet. Some of these, I had 300 rounds loaded up that I had packaged up, bagged up, airtight. I thought, well, I'm going to take some of these out because the overall length of these is 1 inch 155, and normally I seat at 1.15. So these was 25 thousandths longer than the original ones I had problem with. It's a different powder. 4.6 grains of Winchester 231, and my average velocity was 1062 on my chronograph, and these was loaded up back in July of 12. So I grabbed 50 of these and took out there. The gun worked flawlessly. So in short, the Glock works. It's not the Glock's fault, or at least it wasn't in this test. It was my failure, my carelessness, which is in reloading can be a dangerous thing to do. Fortunately, it was a light load, but it wasn't so light that the ones that went off that the bullet would stop in the barrel. Even the ones that didn't sound right, I checked the barrel. I always do. But the same token could have went the opposite way with a hotter load, which would have exceeded the pressure and could have really done some damage to the gun, or possibly me or anybody near me. You say, why are you telling us this, Don? Well, I want this known because there's a lot of reloaders out there, a lot of potential reloaders. A lot of my subs talk about they'd like to get into reloading. And like I said, I've been doing this 38 years. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this. So I guess carelessness is something when you're sitting at this loading bench, check and double check. And I normally do. Normally I check every 25th round when I'm sitting here loading. That day I ain't got but 50 rounds, you know. Let it go. Well, that's what happened. So Yeah, it's embarrassing, but even manufacturers have recalls on their ammo. You know, Winchester's currently got one for their, or had one for their M22s. Of course, Remington and all of them's had recalls on ammunition. That's no excuse for carelessness, but I just want y'all to be aware that the Glock Gen 4, like I said, I run 100 rounds through it yesterday. Not a glitch. Some double taps, not a problem. So I would say the failure is me. The Glock reputation is there, I guess. Is it my favorite gun? Nah. Jury's still out on that. I still love my Springfield Range Officer. And I can say it now that I own one of these. Next to the High Point, it's still one of the ugliest guns out there. Just the blockiness of it. But it works. We're going to do some more testing on it to make sure. But right now, the failure of it was me, not the Glock. So y'all take care. Those of you that reload, that experienced reloaders, like myself, pay close attention to what you're doing, because it could happen to you. So thanks for watching. God bless America and our armed forces past and present.